The launch of the destination brand that we have just witnessed, Your Excellency, is just the start of a rebuilding process. I'm confident that we shall emerge stronger. I now, Your Excellency, request you to deliver your address and launch our destination brand to the world. I thank you, Your Excellency.
Excellency the Vice President, the Right Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, the Minister of Tourism, and other ministers, the Chairman of the Board of your Tourism Board, the CEO, members of the Diplomat Corps, and all invited guests, and those who are listening. When you talk of tourism, as far as Uganda is concerned, I straight away remember 10 points, 10 aspects. Aspect number one is the terrain of Uganda. This terrain of Uganda is unique. It is not by accident that the Nile starts here. It is because the architecture of Africa is such that Uganda is the roof of Africa. That's why you find that Lake Victoria is at 1,000 something meters above sea level. And the Nile goes on descending, going downhill, as it were. Of course, you don't see it because it's like a plateau. It goes gently. By the time you get to Lake Albert, you're about 500 or 600 meters above sea level. And then you continue to the South Sudan and eventually to Alexandria in Egypt when you are at 0 altitude. And all these lakes of Uganda are arranged like a gorofa in the steps. I wrote an article for the cabinet where I described all this. You find that Lake Victoria, Narobare, is at a higher level. Then Lake George at a slightly lower level. Then Edward, then Semuriki, they all flow, Choga, then they all flow into Lake Albert, Mwitanzige, which is lower than all of them. Then a portion of Uganda goes up to 5,000 meters plus above sea level. And that is how you find permanent snow on the equator. You don't have that type of terrain in many parts of the world. So that if you are looking for the tropics, you find them here. That's why here, where you are, if it was not for the human beings, it would be a forest. This would be a tropical forest. And where human beings don't disturb nature, the tropical forest comes up very quickly. Then from there, you go to the savanna, so that the terrain now influences the next aspect, the vegetation. The vegetation. That's how you get the tropical forest, the savanna grassland, the mountain temperate climate, the grassland of the Rift Valley, all are in one country. You look for Africa, it is here. You look for the Sahel, the savanna type, it is here. You look for the temperate parts of the world, cold parts, it is here. So terrain, vegetation. Then you have wildlife. What they were showing you there, the animals, the wildlife, which is what many of the tourists look for in some of the other countries. That's aspect number 4. Then the weather. This weather where we are always outdoors, no air conditioning, you don't have to warm the air, you don't have to cool it. God will do it for you, is because of the terrain and the position of Africa where it is. So maybe before the weather, I should have added location. Location, the fact that we are located right on the equator, but with a high altitude. A part of Uganda being north of the equator, another part being south of the equator. That also influences the weather. And that would be number 5, location. Location on the globe. Number 6, those who are well informed would have heard that all human beings started here. When you see all these people, Europeans, Chinese, Arabs, Asians, these are all former Africans. And where did they start? They started here, in East Africa. Why did they start here? Because of the specific conditions of this place. The human beings could not evolve anywhere else except here, from the other monkeys and so on, to become what they call Homo sapien sapien, the wise man. It was only here. Why? Because of specific conditions. And we here if you are looking for the original Africans, in fact, if you are looking for the original human beings, they are here. All the other human beings you see in the world, those are evolutions of some sort. But the original ones, here, 4.5 million years, here. Now, and I don't know how you capture it in your literature, but you can imagine these original human beings did not know other parts of other human beings. They didn't know that because slowly some groups kept going away through the where the Suez Canal is now, that land bridge between Mediterranean and the Red Sea. They kept going. Not long ago, when they started going, it was about 100,000 years ago. It's not long ago. After the last ice age. But when they went, they changed. They became white. They lost their pigmentation. They became yellow. They became all sorts of other, not species, but other types of human beings. But for us, we stayed here. And we didn't know that these people had gone and changed. For us, we knew that we are the only human beings on earth. Until 1841, that is the first time a non-black person came here. He was an Arab man called Ibrahim. Our people here had never seen anybody without a black skin. So they thought he had no skin. They thought he had no. And then 1862, that's when now a white man comes. Huntington speaks. So you can see it is only 150 years ago that we started interacting with other people in the world. But we still have our culture. And that culture means so many things: language, music, food, medicine. They are all here with us. Economy. So therefore, that is also another unique factor. Of course, we are not the only ones here. There are other people on the equator, in Kenya and other places, the Congo forest. But this is a very important confluence because it is between the forest, the high mountains, and the grasslands. So that is also an interesting factor. And that's why you should not lose your culture carelessly. I am for change, but change in a measured way, a rational way, not just copying. This pandemic you are talking about, we have not suffered as much as some of the other people in the world. And one of the reasons is our culture. That's why you should stop copying. If you study carefully, many people who died in other parts of the world, many of them were grandparents and parents who had been put in institutional homes. Imagine that the late Amos Kaguta and Esther Kokundeka, your judges, would die in an institutional home where the family sent the grandparent to a dormitory to stay with other grandparents, because the family have no time for the elders. They are busy with their own life. Their own life, they are living their own life. How will you face the ancestors in heaven when you go there? For us, we stay with our ancestors. And I hope you will not bring this issue of institutional homes here, where they abandoned old people. And you call that modernity. Now, when this terrible thing came, they were staying together, just being cared for by employees, by your abapakasi. Abapakasi bebalabirira abakadde. Si family. And that's why how many of them died. You know, when it was very high. So therefore, this lifestyle which we still have, the family and our economy, the way we live, we just need to improve some aspects. The housing, improve the housing, provide water, so on, but keep the family. Some of the groups in the world manage to keep their traditional ways, but as they modernize. I don't know how the Japanese do it, but I normally see our Indians here. You see them with their families, big families staying together. In fact, somebody told me that the Indian families, they build a gorofa, a multi-storied building, and the grandmother stays on the ground floor to hear the children who are coming in late, the grandchildren. That's what somebody told me, that the Indians build like that. That's very sensible. You change, but you change logically, not irrationally, just there. So, we, the original human beings, we have a story to tell. How have we been living here? It's very interesting. I think you normally see my cows. I have some exotic, what they call it, exotic. Yes, they are exotic actually. I've got some exotic few cows at Rwakitura. But at Kisozi, I keep only the indigenous. And then whenever the people come, why are you not modernizing? I say, modernizing, going where? I am here. I'm not going anywhere. If you want to go, you go. Me, I stay here. With the Ankole cows. And in time, they will be more valuable than many of those exotic cows people are running after. So, the indigenous community and what they have got to offer, this is an aspect. And I'm glad you are capturing it there. I'm glad you are capturing it. But of course, you should also provide for change. In addition to the grass huts, maybe also put there some other, to see that change, but with continuity, change with continuity. I think you should add another, because we can't remain stagnant. We must change, but in a rational way. So now that leads us to aspect 7, where you talk of community tourism, where the people come to see how the people live here, how the people live there, and why. And then culture, the music. And explaining our languages, our 4 language groups here in Uganda. The Bantu dialects, the Nilotic dialects, the Nilo-Hamitic dialects, and the Sudanic. That one I never see anybody describing. Because these outsiders need to understand Africa. Africa is a mystery. And the whole thing is confused by opportunists. Oh, so many tribes. Whoa. How many tribes are there? In Uganda, we have got 4 language groups. The ones I have mentioned. But they are linked by Swahili. Swahili is a neutral, non-group dialect, but from the same dialects. So that culture, of course, some of the cultural aspects should be audited. That's why it should be headed by some knowledgeable person to see which some of the aspects which we need to change, or some of them need to change, not to be promoted and talked about. Arranged marriages, what? That one we should be audited out. Then peace, because tourists cannot come where there is no peace. So that's an aspect that attracts tourists. Infrastructure. This is part of what Madam Ajarova was talking about. The accommodation, the accessibility. This is all to do with the infrastructure. And finally, health. It should be interesting for foreigners to know how we were able to fight AIDS, to fight Ebola, and recently to fight Corona. How did we do it? So that they know that when they come here, they are safe. They are in a place where there is safety from a health point of view. Those aspects should be emphasized. So therefore, I'm very happy with the new group headed by our daughter Ajarova, because she's definitely very active. She climbed the Rwenzori up to Margarita. Do you have a picture of yourself on the mountain? You show us if you have it. Put it on the screen. Do you have it? You should have put it here. You don't have it. She climbed up to the top of the mountain. I've never been there myself. So I salute that group. And you can see they are putting a lot of imagination in what they are doing. Because when they came to see me, I said, what new are you telling me? I've heard all these stories. They said, no, we have come to tell you the difference between visiting and exploring. Oh, what does it mean? I said, visiting, you come and go. But exploring, you come, you stay, you go, you look. Is that not what you told me? You say I'm a good student. So I said, oh, these people, they are putting a lot of concentration. So I think now, as you heard her saying, all these, because whenever I go abroad, things are not easy at all. You are not comfortable. You are in the hotels, air conditioning. If you go out, it's very hot. In many places, in some, very cold. Even in New York, if you go there in summer, it is very hot outside. Washington also, quite, I think, humid or something. It's not, you go inside, it is air conditioning. But here, life is so easy and so nice. That's why many of the Ugandans are lazy. They don't work. Because here, it is very difficult for fools to die. Fools cannot easily die. You can be foolish and you just stay there eating from your relatives. Somebody says, what are you coming to do here? I say, I have come to see you. That, coming to see. So it's a very, very nice place, but it needed a group to talk about it, to inform the world. And that's what, from what I can see, the Ajarova group are really determined to talk about Uganda. So I congratulate them. I congratulate the board by Daudi Mugereko and others. I congratulate the ministry under Kololo, because I am a bit skeptical. I was saying, what new thing are these ones doing? But when I came, they came to Nakasero, and they introduced. I said, Munan, these people may have something new. Katubawagire, let's support them. So with these not so few words, it is my pleasure to launch the brand of Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency is going to proceed to sign the Explore Uganda logo, and we'd like to kindly call upon the Honorable Minister of Tourism, the State Minister for Tourism, the Permanent Secretary, the Chairman of the Uganda Tourism Board, and the CEO of Uganda Tourism Board to also stand by, sign also subsequently, and also witness the process. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency is appending his signature endorsing Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. Your Excellency, we would like to, before you go, we have a special gift for you. We'd like to hand over this gift, Your Excellency, on behalf of the entire team. Plus also take some pictures. Could we have the Vice President, the Deputy Prime Minister, and all the ministers also kindly stand to be able to take pictures quickly also with His Excellency? Could we kindly also request the entire board and the senior management team of Uganda Tourism Board to quickly also make their way so we can quickly take those pictures. So the first pictures will be His Excellency, the Vice President, Deputy Prime Minister, and all the ministers together with the Uganda Tourism Board. Then quickly afterwards, the Uganda Tourism Board senior management team, the board, and stakeholders from the tourism sector. Once again, we'd like to thank His Excellency for his commitment to supporting the unveil of Brand Uganda, the brand new Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. So ladies and gentlemen, we have the members of the diplomatic corps also who have been requested to also take a picture with His Excellency, sign of their mutual support. And we appreciate all the contributions and their sacrifices the senior management team of Uganda Tourism Board, if you could kindly make your way there. We thank His Excellency for the support. Your Excellency, this is the senior management team of Uganda Tourism Board. They've worked tirelessly to put together this entire project. We thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your sacrifice. Ladies and gentlemen, you may take your seats. And I think that will be the last photo opportunity. We thank His Excellency for taking time out. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a huge round of applause to our guest of honor, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda. Can we kindly be upstanding?